So the New York Post cover story, Giants win best ad.
Do you agree? Huh? Wow. We're breaking down the Super Bowl commercials with Michela Belluso with Davidson Belluso Ad Agency. Good morning to you.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Nice to see you too.
All right, so we kind of got a lot to get through, and you watched them all. So let's start with most effective. We'll start with that category first.
Okay, what did you think?
Okay, well, I thought the Sprint commercial was really good. You know, they told a really simple story from beginning to end, and it was really funny. And they used topics like artificial intelligence and, you know, the point of singularity, which are really relevant. And being such a science fiction fan, I thought that that was really clever.
Okay.
So, if people didn't see this, tell us what the commercial was. It looks like you got somebody from like AI, and they're talking about phones,
so they're
right?
testing a new AI, and of course, you know, she's playing chess, but you know, she gets a call, and she's like, "Oh, you don't have Sprint," and they start making fun of him because he doesn't use Sprint. So, and then he actually goes into the store, and they ask me, "Why did you decide to switch?" And he say, "Well, because my coworkers were making fun of me." So, yeah, I thought that was
good.
Okay. Tide. The Tide ad.
Yeah, so Tide, you know, they came up with a formula that they were able to repeat over and over again. Again, they use humor, which is always great. And, you know, I thought that they really did a good job about repeating different commercials and making fun of some really good commercials like Mr. Clean, and another one I think was Old Spice, which were great commercials in their own right. So I thought it was really clever. It was funny.
So using familiar commercials that we are all thinking,
Correct.
oh, this, and then at the last second it's kind of a switcheroo, and it's Tide.
Yes, and you know, just made it for a very memorable concept.
I like Tide. It smells good.
Yeah.
Okay, E-Trade.
So E-Trade was another one that I thought did a really good job using humor. So you have all these people that, you know, should be retired, and they're not. They're still working. So it actually plays off statistics that it's somewhat concerning. You know, 1/3 of Americans don't have. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old and I'm thinking about retirement, but it really resonated with me.
Sure, it hits home. You know, you don't
I think
necessarily
enough people could identify
want to be a
with that.
firefighter when you're 80.
Yeah, or a Baywatch.
Although it's still be nice to run on the beach, right? That
Sure.
wouldn't be the worst thing.
Okay, honorable mention. Who did you pick for that one?
So I picked Budweiser just because I wanted to talk a little bit about the trend of all these ads that were humanitarian and philanthropic. And I think out of all the different brands, Budweiser probably did the best job. They just use, again, a very simple story, very well executed, and it felt genuine, you know, and I think it's really hard to come up with commercials that have this sort of message, because you want to make sure you're genuine, otherwise you end up, you know, rubbing people the wrong way.
Right, so what they're doing is they're saying we stopped making beer and we started canning water to help people who were, had all the
affected by
hurricanes
natural disasters. Yep,
okay,
absolutely.
head scratchers. What do you mean by head scratchers? Kind of like what do they
you
mean?
know, it's
really
something
work?
that you're not quite sure what happened, and maybe like a missed opportunity. You know, personally, I felt like all the ones that use celebrities had an opportunity to do something really great, and I think they missed the mark a little bit. So Michelob with Chris Pratt. I mean, you have, you know, a guardian of our own galaxy, and that's the best thing you can come up with.
And a heartthrob. All the ladies love Chris Pratt.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they were, you know, they were good spots. They were funny, but I think, again, a missed opportunity to do something really outstanding. But, you know, he's lovable, so still nice to watch him.
Squarespace. What's Squarespace?
So Squarespace is a company that helps you build your own website. So with Keanu Reeves, I mean, it's pretty impressive what he's doing with his motorcycle. But again, another example, at least for me, of a celebrity that did not quite hit the mark. I mean, I think you could have used any scene out of The Matrix, and that would have been more relevant to coding and website development than him riding his motorcycle, even though he did it on his feet. But.
Okay. And then the Stella Artois ad.
Stella Artois, that's, again, I guess another use of celebrity. So you have Matt Damon. And, you know, I really like Matt Damon, and you can tell that he obviously really cares about the cause. But, you know, if you ask me to buy a piece of glass with your logo on it, or a chalice, I think they call it, I don't know, it felt a little contrived. You know, I think it would have been a lot better to come up with a different sort of idea to ask me to help them support, you know, people.
Their cause.
Yep.
just to buy the glass. I get it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that was a little bit of a miss, but you know, you still can appreciate the good cause and the great message.
And WeatherTech.
That was an honorable mention.
Yeah, that was an interesting one because I wasn't really familiar with the company, and I just was wondering where this was going the whole way, and I felt again that it was very well executed, but as far as message and creative concept, I don't think there was anything there that was really outstanding.
And that's really the key thing, right? You're paying all this money, not only for your 30 seconds of airtime or minute of airtime, but you have to produce these ads, and you want to get a message across.
You want to get a message. You want to entertain people, you know, and that doesn't have to be specifically funny, but you want to make sure that you tell a story, something that can resonate with people.
And people understand it.
And people understand
the connection you're trying to make
exactly,
in that
because it's
short
really
amount
a
of
few
time.
seconds.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that.
And I'm wondering about this one here. So Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., parts of his speech, apparently it happened 50 years to the day before, used in a truck ad. And so there's some backlash. Is it good to have people talking about you, even if they're talking about you this way?
Well, you know, they say that there's never really any bad PR, but I don't know if I totally agree with that. So, you know, any time you put out a message like that and you use such strong and powerful words, you better follow up with an incredible, you know, creative concept, something that that really hits people, not just intellectually, but emotionally. And I think they missed the mark. And, you know, people these days, I mean, they're smart and they'll see right through it. And I think, you know, what people were left thinking is like, well, they just want to sell drugs, you know. So, but it did create a lot of social media engagement, which is, you know, one of the things that marketers really, you know, one of their goals, but not for the best reasons.
What about, I thought this was cute, but the NFL play 60
I love
Dirty
that.
Dancing.
So, yeah.
That was one of my favorites.
You can't go wrong when you have two big guys reenacting the, you know, the famous classic scene from Dirty Dancing.
Right.
You know,
especially
and I
when
think
it's Eli Manning, it looks like he can't, you know, he's got two left feet.
I know. It was really very well done, and I think Patrick Swayze would have really appreciated it and he got a kick out of it. So.
For sure.
Okay, and then about dead air.
Yeah, that was interesting. So I kept watching, thinking something is going to happen, something great is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe something like the old FedEx ad, like a million years ago, where they used that, you know, dead air to say, well, you should have used FedEx to deliver the commercial back when commercials will deliver on tape, but nothing happened, and I was like, oh, that was disappointing. So I guess
But wait a second, so it's just nothing?
There was just nothing. It was just like a few seconds.
Was that a mistake?
That's what I heard. They weren't really specific about what happened, but I think you know, mechanical malfunction. So
that's an expensive one.
Yeah, although they said that nobody got hurt in the sense that what was supposed to run during that time actually ended up running. So I guess nobody got fired.
Yeah,
good.
30 seconds. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you,
My pleasure. Nice to meet you
Nice
too.
meeting you.
Thank you.
Nice job.